Is this thing on? I don't know if it's on. Is it on? Is it? Hello? Oh, yeah, it's on. Hey, boys and girls. It's the Mad Hatter. And this is his bucket of stuff today. Remember when we were talking about removing those inserts out of the body of my Frankenstrat and replacing them with actual screws? Well, I did that. But I didn't age the screws or tell you exactly what happened in the process of drilling the holes and whatnot. So before we get into it, please smash that subscribe button, leave a comment, and give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel a whole hell of a lot, and ring the bell, whenever another video comes up, you'll get notified, and there she be. All right, so let's go ahead and get on into it. The inserts I had to pry out with a hammer. Okay, maybe I did it the wrong way or not, but it came out good. I had to drill the holes out a little bit more because they were the wrong size. So I had to feel the holes with dowel. Well, I did that and I marked them off. And I put a little bit of soap on the screws so it'd make it easier for them to turn in. Well, one of the screws didn't go all the way in. It wouldn't grab. So I had to refill it and re-drill a hole. And that was the top one here, I believe. And I used my Z-epoxy for that. Well, what had happened was when I remarked it off, the Floyd Rose was covering the quarter, and it's not supposed to cover the quarter. And unfortunately, I had to fill a hole again and re-drill it. Well, I did it with Gorilla Glue this time, and I sanded everything down, pretty much flush with the body and stuff like that. But when I did that, the screw, it still didn't grab. I got it almost all the way in, and then it just stopped. It wouldn't grab anymore. So I had to redo it. I had to make sure that I had the dowel shape just right so it would pound just far enough into that hole, because the hole was getting narrower and narrower the further down it got. So I had to refill it once again and re-drill it gradually. Well, this time it worked. And I got it all tuned up. I got it centered just right. The strings are centered just right with the neck. Everything works. I looked at a page or one of the shots that was at the Smithsonian of Eddie's Floyd, and his was not perfectly straight with the humbucker pocket in the back. It was off just a little, so I accepted that as part of the Frankenstrat iconic thing. It was a little crooked, so I accepted that. The Floyd Rose no longer covers the quarter. So what I'm going to go through today is I'm going to go through the process of aging the screws. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to darken the neck up here a little bit more on especially the bottom areas, a little bit on the top up here, and on the back. I was not really, it looks nice, but it's not really realistic as far as usage goes. Let me set this down real easy. It should be more brown. It should be brown or more worn on the top edge and around by the neck here and along the bottom part of the neck, the bottom edge here, and progressively getting lighter going in toward the center of the neck. Also, there should be more usage down in this part of the neck area right here,
we are back again.
especially down in here.
As you can see,
so I'm
I
going to
did
darken
remove
this
a few
up,
things.
and I'm going to show you how I do
First
that.
of all, I did remove the
Let me go ahead
strings,
and get these strings
because
off.
I do
and
want
I'll be
to
right back to
work
you
on the neck
in
also.
just a moment.
And then after I removed the strings, I went around, turned around the back, and I removed the springs to hold the Floyd Rose on. I just took the Floyd Rose off, and then I took the screws out because they're going to be aging those. So, so what we're going to be doing is, I thought as far as having the screws out, I was going to go ahead and kind of age the edge of the holes, or the paint around the holes a little bit to make it look like it was more natural. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Not too much, doesn't have to be done too much, just to make it look a little bit more natural. That should do it. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now, as far as what I want to do, I want to darken up the neck a little bit more along the bottom edge and around the top edge around here, a little bit darker in these areas, maybe some in here or whatever. I removed the nut clamps, and so those are out of the way. And we're not really going to get in depth in some of the stuff, but it's just a matter of preference. If you've built one, my preferences were, maybe while it was a part like this, I could go over maybe some of the little spots with, I got some 220 sandpaper here, maybe go over some of the little spots here, maybe improve on them a little bit, that I didn't maybe hit just right. Little things like that. Just little things. Doesn't have to be major things or anything like that. Because I did use some pretty heavy sandpaper, because if you can see right here, right along the bottom 7:15 here, you can see deeper marks. Now I use a heavier sandpaper. Some of the places I use a rasp on the edges and stuff like that to give it a, like it was sat down on the floor, butt in down. So, but I thought, I'd go ahead and work on some of the spots like that. Now, what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to age these screws. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the sandpaper and I'm just going to spin it around here a little bit. Just kind of give it a good scrubbing. Sorry about that. That was our dog. And just give it a good scrubbing there. And also like right on the head of the screw. And maybe a little bit on the threads. There. Now, my recommendation to you, if you're going to be doing anything like this, anything, because I don't have any right now, is to wear rubber gloves. Do not, I repeat, do not do what I do. I'm going to be using a chemical called ferric chloride. It's a very poisonous chemical. So do not do what I do, please. What I'm going to do is I am opening the container right now. And I'm taking a long Q-tip. And I'm going to dip the Q-tip in the ferric chloride, and I'm going to dab it on the screws and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then come back and we'll rinse them off in water and see how they look, and then we'll go from there. Dab it on there. See where it's beating up is where chrome is gone from the metal. And you put it down on the paper towel so it gets soaked up on the underside of the screw also. Usually you would use those long droppers. You can get them at like a Joanne Fabrics or something like that. And drop the liquid onto whatever you're aging. Yeah, I'll put just a little bit more on that one, and that should be enough. And
Well, here we are back once again. Now, I age the screws, or I start the aging process with ferric chloride. Now,
off, and we'll see.
I asked my wife if we had any rubber gloves, and she said yes. We have like a survival pack or something like that out in the car. You know, we had like masks and gloves and stuff like that. And voila, I went out and I got rubber gloves. Now, like I said, you want to wear rubber gloves when you're handling chemicals like ferric chloride. You want to, because it's a very poisonous chemical. Also, in case of splash, drips, or whatever, please, oh please, wear safety glasses. These are my safety glasses from work. Please, please, oh please, wear safety glasses. It's gotta be a must, because if you get any of this stuff in your eyes, God help you, because it's probably gonna burn, it's probably gonna do something to your vision or whatever, I don't know. But as far as what the screw turned out, it doesn't look like much really, but that's what we are going to use the next chemical for. See, it's kind of dulled on the top. The next chemical that we're going to be messing with is a rust antiquing solution. By Sophisticated Finishes, of course. And it's an accelerant. It's an accelerant to put on the bare areas of the whatever you're antiquing. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a Q-tip. If you have some, I don't have any right now, but if you have some, one of those long applicating, they look like a squirter, like a long squirter applicator. You know, you can use one of those to apply the either the ferric chloride or the accelerant. So we're going to go ahead, take the top off. Get it in there. And put it on. And let it soak into the paper towel so it gets on the underneath
the screw. And you want to make sure it's covered, so that should do it. Now we'll let that sit for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll rinse that off with water. But please remember, whenever you're messing with any of these chemicals, wear rubber gloves and wear safety glasses. All right, here we are, please. Back again. And it's been about so
15
we'll
minutes
see you
or
back
so.
here in about 15
I'm
minutes.
going to go take these
And we'll
screws
continue
now,
on.
and I'm going to go and rinse them off. I'll be back in just a sec. Also, if you have any of these little plastic ramekin cups, they come in really handy for doing some of these little jobs and stuff like that on your guitar or any guitar that you're building. Now, I've rinsed the screws off. I'll set that aside. There isn't really a big change in the screws, but I am sure there is a little bit of a change. You're mostly gonna see the top edge or the top surface of the screw, and you can see that there's some wear and tear to it. And if you want, if you're in this process of doing something like this, you can take your good old 220 sandpaper again, and give it a good scrub. Give it a little bit more wear, because you're not really gonna see, yeah, it didn't really change a little bit. You can see a little spot right there where it changes stuff. I didn't really scrub them all that hard, but you're really not gonna see a whole lot of the screw. You're gonna see more of the surface of the screw. So now that we got that done, and I've already informed you of what I had to go through to get that hole right. I used a couple of different size drills to drill these holes, from an 1/8 all the way up. I can't remember exactly what size it was, all the way up to the size of these screws. And I well, actually it was a little bit smaller than the size of these screws, so the threads would grab. But I put some soap on the threads, a little bit of soap, so it would make it easier for the screws to go in the holes. So I said, okay, cool. So they go right in. And grab your straight screwdriver. And you take it all the way down to the shoulder, if I got the, oops.
That was unexpected. You want to take it all the way down to the shoulder of the screw. Right here. So we'll screw those down. And there you have it. So, to put the Floyd Rose on, you just slip the blades underneath the heads of the screws. Flip it over, still holding the Floyd Rose against the screws with your hand. Grab one of your springs. Grab your needle pliers. There's probably a better way to do this. But, hey. Well, okay, mission accomplished. After that, found the spring, got the Floyd Rose on. Now what we're going to do,
because I got to hunt for a spring.
Now is we're going to darken up the neck a little bit. So what we're going to wind up using is another chemical, but it's a powder chemical called potassium permanganate. I had this just a few minutes ago. Permanganate. Managate. Well, here it is. Right here. I can't pronounce it. I had it a couple minutes ago, and now I can't pronounce it. Duh. But it is a powder chemical. And it's kind of a grayish color. Okay. You don't need very much. And to be warned, if ever you get this stuff on carpet or anything that you don't want it to get on, it will not come out. It is permanent. Permanent. You would have to cut out whatever you wanted to get rid of and replace it with the same. And it's purple in color when you add water to it. Also, I'm going to be using graphite. Graphite lubricant comes in a tube.
And I'm going to be putting that on different areas of the neck. But what would you want to use to put it on, to apply it with? Well, I was wondering, should I use paper towel? Oh no, I don't really want to use paper towel for something like that. So I was just trying to figure out, well, what am I going to use? What am I going to use? Well, I remembered a couple days ago, or whatever, my wife found this old tore sock sitting up on the bed. I think it was yesterday, maybe even, by the dog. Well, there's the hole. Like, what the hell? Okay. I got something to apply this stuff with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the graphite, put it on the sock, and I'm going to rub it in on the neck. So let me move some of this stuff here to get it out of the way so you can see exactly what's going on here. So I'm going to take this graphite and the sock. Again, I'm wearing rubber gloves because I don't want to get any of this graphite on my fingers. But well, maybe I should. And again, I have my trusty dusty safety glasses on. So I'm going to take some graphite here. And kind of rub it in. It's kind of like a powder. You can tap the nose of it on the fingerboard. And I'm just doing this randomly. Right now. Because I think he would be playing down here too. There's a lot of use up here at the top part of the neck. And right
down in here. So it gives it a more of an aged look, and you just want to keep rubbing the graphite in. He uses the bottom part of the neck a lot. Some of the metal right here. Why am I doing this instead of, well, why am I doing it more live? Because I'm doing, leaving in all the fucking bloopers and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know. It's just the way I am, Adds a little spice to the video. But this is about it, right about here. That I think will do it. Now, the next step is a little bit more hairy because that involves, let's see if I can get this right again, our good old friend potassium permanganate. That's it. Potassium permanganate. Because once you apply it to any surface, it's there. It's there, and there are very limited options on how to deal with something like that. So again, I'm going to use a Q-tip, and I'm going to come over here and get the potassium permanganate and apply it. Now I still have my safety glasses on, I still have my rubber gloves on. This stuff stains. If it gets out of your hands, it's there for a while. If it gets on your rug, it's there. And if your wife ever finds out, she'll kill you. my wife wasn't none too happy when it happened to me, and the stain is still there. So what you want to do is just, and this is just me now, I mean, you might find a different way to do it, but this is just me. I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, and fold it, and I'm going to take my Q-tip and I'm going to dip it in, and I'm going to rub it on the darker areas, and then I'm going to wipe the excess off with the paper towel. So, wish me luck. I'm going to have to do this while I'm standing up because I can't see the dark areas here. and I'm putting it over the graphite, it'll seal in some of the graphite. See how that got darker? So you just want to kind of paint it on there and then blot off the excess. And if you want, you can let it sit for a while you move on to the next fret. You can even go on to the next one if you want. Just kind of let it sit. And look how dark it gets. Look how used it gets. That looks like a fucking used guitar. But you want to kind of wipe it. If you don't want to go like 1, 2, 3 frets ahead, you don't have to. You can just let it sit for a little bit and then let it wipe it off. It's not a slow process. Now, when you get up to the larger frets, you start to see some of the lines that are going this way. You start seeing some of that wear. Now I can sit down because I can see the light is shining on the fretboard a little bit better. Sorry for the lighting. See how that looks? You don't need to let this stuff sit on there too long. Just a couple of seconds because it soaks right in. So there it is.
That's pretty much done right there.
Set your liquid aside there. I don't want to try to pronounce it again because I'll probably murder the name. And there you have it. That looks much better, I think. It looks more used. It looks like it's been through 650 concerts. So, what now about the back side of the neck? What's going on with that? Well, I was like, well, the back side of the neck wasn't dark enough. Because the top part of the top edge of the neck should be darker. The bottom edge of the neck should be darker. And then it should get lighter as it goes in, because there's a small gap between here and the neck. I better leave these back because I'm going to be, whoop, it tore. Oh, I can still use it because I'm going to be using this stuff again. So, what I figure I'm going to do is I'm going to use some more graphite and my potassium again to darken these areas up. So I am going to grab my trusty sock that I got propped under here. And just dump this on here, plus it'll make the neck smoother. Oops. All right. So now we have some graphite on the neck. You don't need very much. Now we're going to take our potassium, P, because I can't pronounce the last word very well. And we're going to take another piece of paper towel and we're going to fold it. And then we are going to dip it in the potassium P. I'm going to grab a little paper plate here that I was using a little while ago. See how purple that is? And if I didn't have gloves on, my fingers would be purple right now. And now we're going to rub it along the edge, top edge of the neck, and bring it down. Around the bottom. And the top. So what we're gonna do here, let me back this up to get better, get it in the frame a little bit better. Now, is we're going to dry it off by using another piece. Yep. And then we're going to take this same piece and we're going to dip it in again and just repaint that neck. With it. So as you can see, the neck has gotten a little darker, not as dark as I would like it. So we're going to put a little bit more on. And you just want to make sure that you get it on evenly. See how dark it's getting? That should be it right there. Now I'm wiping just the excess off with a sock, the same sock that I used to put the graphite on. And I'm going to take a piece of quad zero steel wool, and I'm gonna lightly sand, or not sand, but go across the back of the neck in one direction. Don't go back and forth. Do it in one direction in the middle. So I can actually take my gloves off now. Let me put that down so I can feel the back of the neck. And it's pretty darn smooth. It was smooth in the beginning anyway. I got my neck from Music Craft, so the neck was smooth anyway. So that's about it right there. That makes me happy. Right there. Just look at that. Now, also, I was playing it yesterday, and I was thinking to myself, I can hear a little bit of, something's not right in the neck. So I'm like, well, maybe I should adjust a truss rod. So I'm also going to adjust the truss rod. Now, how I do that, I'm sure most every guitar player, or even so, mine has a single truss rod in it. So all I have to do is just kind of unscrew a little bit on the back side. Of the guitar. Flip it back over, and it exposes the screw right here. So, in order to get what I want, I have to give the neck a little bit of a bow, an inward bow. What I mean by that is, if you're looking at the guitar neck or the headstock, I want the headstock to move forward a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to turn this screw here, or I want to turn the truss rod counterclockwise if I wanted to have get rid of a certain sound or whatever, same thing. I would want a reverse bow. In other words, pulling the headstock backwards. So I would want to turn this truss rod screw clockwise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it about 1/8 of a turn. About right there. And then I'm going to flip it back over. Oh, actually, I'll push it in. And then screw the neck back on. And there you have it. The neck is done. the way I wanted it. I've adjusted the neck as far as the truss rod. I've aged the screws so they don't look as new with the ferric chloride and the accelerant. That is about all I wanted to do. We will be back to you in a few minutes after I get this sucker restringed.
Well, here we back once again. Final
with, guess what?
It is
EVH
back
strings
together.
tonight.
Now,
So,
as I said
we'll get
before,
back to you in just a
I'm
bit
gonna go through
after
a
that
little bit
and
of
give
detail
you
here.
Of what some of
A
this
little
stuff
bit of a
is.
rundown on what
a
I
lot
did.
of the stuff is it's pretty generic if you really want to know the truth. Aside from the body, the pickups, these two pickups here, the Floyd Rose, and the neck. Really, the paint is Duplicolor Super Toyota 2 Red. The white is a Wimbledon white. The black is Universal Black. All Duplicolor. On the headstock here, the paint is regular white Duplicolor, and the red is flame red. I know that sounds weird, but I took two different guitars and I kind of meshed them together. The neck is from quote unquote the Asian tour. It's a different neck. The body, yeah, he had like 25 or maybe even 30 necks. Nobody really knows how many necks Eddie had. So we'll keep it at that. But I found one of the headstocks that had the creamer right here, not along the bottom part here, like the 5150 guitar. The pickup is a Frankenstrat pickup, quote unquote, specs right direct from Eddie Van Halen himself at Seymour Duncan. The switch in the middle, generic. The wiring, the mess in the middle, it's all generic wiring and stuff like that. I pretty much figured out just how to intertwine the wires and stuff like that. I got a diagram from another Frankenstrat enthusiast, and he sent me a diagram on how to mesh all the wires together. So the humbucker from Seymour Duncan, the single coil dummy pickup from Pariah Pickups. That was I hunted high and low for one of these pickups, just right. And I couldn't find one. I mean, yeah, you had different companies that make this pickup, or this person that makes this pickup, or something like that. But I got wind of Pariah Pickups on one of the Van Halen groups that I'm in on. And so I went and checked out their website, and I tell you what, they make an excellent, if you're making one of these guitars, they make an excellent single coil non-working pickup, and they also make a working single coil pickup. So I think I picked this one up for like $65. Don't quote me on that. But it was something like that. But it's a quality piece of work. I mean, it's nice. It's a really nice addition. Of course, the Floyd Rose. It's a Floyd Rose original, and I kind of messed that up a little bit with a buffing wheel with my Dremel, and of course you got the quarter. That was aged, and the input on the guitar and stuff like that. But that's also the all important reflectors on the back. The broken one, or he rubbed into something blue. People were selling the neck plates for the neck, but they were like stamped out neck plates and stuff like that. Well, I decided to make my own, so I put the neck plate number here. I took my engraving thing for my Dremel, and I put I don't know if you can see it very well on the neck, but it says 61071. That was the neck plate number. And then in memory of Edward Ludwig Van Halen, his birthday, and the day of his passing. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought, put a little bit of personal touch to it. The body, the neck, like I said, Music Craft, excellent through and through. Excellent workmanship on their products. I couldn't, they're a really good company, so keep that in mind. Anyway, get one of these if you string a lot of guitars. I love this thing. It's just, you just purchase one of these from like Stu Mac or Sweetwater or something like that. This little drill thing was like $50, something like that. You put this on there. Oh, it's a lifesaver. You don't have the little crank things anymore. I love it. But anyway, that's about it. I'm really glad you stopped by. Check this out. It was just a little redo on my guitar. I just wanted to show you the process of how I was going to darken the neck up and what I did with the Floyd Rose, taking out the inserts and putting the regular screws in and stuff. Sounds great. I'm not going to play and embarrass myself because I think I suck pretty much. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Hey, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. And hit that little bell there. Just let you know that another video comes up and say, hey, I need to watch this video. So anyway, you guys take it easy. I hope you had a really good weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.